Hi guys, and welcome to DIY Ideas, and welcome to a new basic tutorial. So you're perfectly right here if you want to learn how to crochet, or if you maybe have a quick question, how exactly do you do chain stitches? How do you start? If I want to, start from a center, or how do I start, a ring, a loop scarf? So yeah, all of these like basic questions I'm gonna show you now. And yeah, and maybe you still remember, once I'm in, I can remember, but I need help getting started. Okay, so let's see. I will start here with some chain stitches. So yeah, we have my bushy wool here. It's a great wool or a great yarn to show people how to crochet. It's really easy to crochet with. It's 50 grams, 55 meters long, 70% acrylic and 30% wool. It's meant for size 6 to 7 crocheting hooks, and I'm using my size 7 here. Fitting with the wool, it's also green. That's just a coincidence, but yeah. The color is called olive and it's the number 125. So how do you start? So you take the thread here into your hand, just like that, and then you wrap it around your 2 fingers and you cross it in the front. So you can see here I have the open thread down, and then we cross it here towards the top. We take our hook and we poke through and then pull the thread through and out. Then we have both ends here kind of in our hand and we pull it tight, and then we pull it tight around the crocheting hook. And then we have the hook, we have the thread on our hook. Let me show you again. So you put the thread onto your hand, you wrap it around your 2 fingers, you cross it. So the open one is at the bottom. Then we take our hook and we go in between here, this loop. We pull it through the thread, and then we pull them up and hold the 2 ends at the bottom, and then only one to pull it tight around the crocheting hook. Okay, don't pull it too tight. That'll be a little harder later. Maybe if you're getting started with crocheting, a lot of people make that little mistake. To pull too tight, or maybe, too loose actually. But I feel like I see it more often that people are crocheting too tight at the beginning. Okay, so now we have the thread on our hook. I'm going to show you one more time here. Let me try to do it a little smaller here. So we cross the thread onto our fingers. Then I'm going to kind of bend the index finger, and then I go through with my hook and pull it through. Now we have both ends here in our hand. And we can kind of pull it apart, and then we pull it tight, okay? Now we will see how to have the thread on the hand, okay? So there's a few different methods here, but I think this one is the best or the easiest one. Just to have a little bit of tension on the thread. Okay, so we run the thread through the pinky and the ring finger, okay, just like this. Then we loop it around our index finger. Okay, that's on your weaker hand. If you're left-handed, then you do it on your left hand. Sorry, if you're right-handed, you do it on your left hand, I mean. And then with the index finger here, we can put a little bit of tension onto the thread, okay? So depending on what we want here, so if we straighten it like this, we have a lot of tension here on the thread, and maybe even, problems to pull the thread through. And so you want this to be loose enough and easy enough to pull the thread through. And so this is exactly what happens here when you crochet. So you take the hook and you pull it through, okay, through your loop. So this is the general idea here of crocheting. So I pull the thread through my loop, and with this, what I'm currently doing, this is called a chain stitch, okay? And so here we don't want to make any big motions. Ideally, you have space to obviously do them, but it's not really helpful. And it's the easiest, especially if you want to crochet a little longer, you want to have the hook pretty loosely in your hand, and you don't want to make big motions here. Okay. And so with these chain stitches here that we've just created, we can make a lot of things with this. So the easiest way to crochet is a single crochet. And so you just go into the stitch, you pull the thread through, and then you take the thread and pull it through both, okay? So this is a single crochet, we go into the loop and continue, and then you always crochet from right to left here. Okay, so these are rows that we're doing here. And those we always, once you're at the end of the row, I'm just gonna do this real quickly so that you can see what you do at the very end. And there's a lot more videos on my channel that will show you how exactly to do all these stitches. As you can see, I'm almost here back at the beginning or at the end of this row. So here this movement is very similar as to the chain stitches. We just pull it through, we add a chain stitch here, and then we turn it around. And now you can see that we're starting again on the right side. This is the technique for, if you're crocheting in rows. So when you reach the end of your row, you turn it around and then you continue with the next row from right to left. That's only if you're crocheting, in rows. If you were to start to crochet in rounds, you put the thread again onto your hook. Let me show you again. I was a little quick. Okay, so again, we do the same motion as before until the thread is on the hook. Then we put it onto our hand and we start with a few chain stitches here. 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's do 7. Sounds good. It's the same number as my crocheting hook size. And now here we have our first stitch and we go in and we try to make sure that none of the work so far is twisted. We do a slip stitch and now we have a ring. Okay. And so just as before with the chain stitches, we have this here and we can just go back into the same stitches and do, whatever stitch you want to do. So maybe we're adding here a chain stitch for height and then we just continue with single crochets. So this is the same exact pattern we were doing before with the chain stitches. Here we always go from right to left as well, but it's more, obviously of a turn than just straight back. Here we kind of have, or you would want to add or to increase with every row, but we're not going to go into that today. That's a little much, but you can find a lot more videos on my channel about this. How to crochet in rounds. And then I'm going to show you the magic circle also. This is a great method also to start with rounds. And so I'm going to put the thread here into my hand. I'm going to cross it, pull it through. This is very simple, very basic. But what we do, but that's different here is kind of we leave this open, this loop at the bottom. We do not pull it tight. And now we take the thread and we pull it through the loop we have on our hook. And with that, we have our first chain stitch already done. And now we can do, something else. So we can just get started with, for example, single crochets. Okay, so that means, let's see. So we go into the ring here. We're not going into a stitch or something like that. We just go into the stitch and then we pull the thread through here. Okay? So this is also, again, simple, small movements. We start here right with the single crochets. And we're not actually doing chain stitches because we just add them basically into this ring. Okay? So this is just a different way of starting with the crocheting. This is just for the start. And here, so we have 8. I actually only wanted to make 7, but that doesn't really matter. So now we have 8 stitches here into this ring. Okay, and now your question is maybe how do I put this all together? So you just pull on this little thread here and you just pull it all together and it's just automatically kind of closing. Okay. And then here we can kind of finish this off or, you know, finish it to a whole circle. If we just go in here where we started, and yeah, now it's just fully closed, and we're starting, yeah, from the center outward. Okay. And so yeah, these are 3 different ways to start to crochet or start your crocheting project. So yeah, here from the ring, from the center, and the other ones, yeah, you know, more of a basis of chain stitches. 3 different variations. I really hope that this was interesting for you, that you found or learned something new. If you did, then please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I will see you next time at DIY Ideas. Bye guys!